Hey everyone, today we're going to break down a moment that honestly floored me when I came across it. It happened at the 2024 Sentebale Polo Charity Match, and it's a clip that has been pretty popular. I want to tell you why it stood out to me so much and why I wanted to make this clip and share it on X and all the other social media platforms. This one definitely shows mean girl energy and how it looks when people grow up. I'm going to talk about specifically what is going on here. What did I notice? I'm going to talk about Delfina and flying monkeys. And I'm also going to talk about Dr. Sophie's reaction. I'm really excited to do this one because my video has gotten so many comments on X, and I think it's so important for me to share exactly what I saw and what motivated me to create this clip. So, if this sounds interesting to you, please stick around. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. Okay, so by now, many of you, I'm sure all of you, have seen that viral moment from the 2024 polo event where Meghan physically maneuvered Dr. Sophie out of position during the trophy presentation. That clip has sparked a lot of discussion and for good reason. I actually have a few more clips made during those last moments, and I think I'll create another video where I will talk through all of it together. I know you guys like those videos, so I'm going to do that. But the clip that I showed you, or we're going to talk about today, happened earlier in the day, and it puts this trophy moment in an entirely new light. So we've seen the clips where Nacho, Delfina, Harry, and Meghan take their picture, and shortly after, Harry and Nacho and Dr. Sophie take a picture. The video with this bullying behavior is what happens in between these two moments. So let's watch a clip that's going to demonstrate all of this timing. So at this moment, Harry and Meghan have just arrived at the event. They're walking over to take that picture. Harry and Nacho take a picture, and now they all walk. I'm sorry, Delfina and Meghan walk off while Dr. Sophie walks on in order to take the pictures. What we are watching is that short moment in between when the pictures are going to be taken. I think this is important to note because it shows you that Meghan knew that another picture was going to be taken because Harry stood there. She didn't have her claw grabbing him, trying to move him along. What's interesting is that that tension that we see later with the trophy moment was already there, in my opinion, at the beginning of this event. So we can all speculate what happened there. I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I find it's probably very easy to have conflict with Meghan, but it shows that this tension had already been brewing. So now let's watch the Mean Girl clip. So you see Meghan is walking off as Dr. Sophie's coming on. I know a lot of people have said that they can't tell if it's Meghan that's reaching for Delfina or Delfina reaching for Meghan, but here I'm going to slow it down so you can see it here. Delfina holds out her arm and Meghan reaches it. You see, Delfina's arm is bent. So this was a planned moment between the two of them. And I'm going to break down what that means a little bit later in this video. And then you see Harry walking in. So let's watch that again. So Harry, you can see he knows that Meghan is walking off. He almost ignores her. A lot of people have been commenting on that. If you have any thoughts about that, please drop that in the comments. So you see they're totally ignoring Dr. Sophie. They're walking away. You can see even Meghan is looking straight ahead, and Delfina, her head turns a little bit over towards Meghan, almost like she's shielding her. It's such strange behavior. And if we really look at those hands, those are tight grasp hands. Delfina's arm doesn't even look relaxed. Now let's look at Dr. Sophie. She has a smile, which kind of looks like it disappears. And I think a lot of people think she's looking over at Meghan, but I think she's just greeting the lady in the red dress. So let's watch that again. Yeah, I think she's just greeting the lady in the red dress. Towards the end of the analysis, I'm going to talk about Dr. Sophie's behavior here and what are some potential things that it means and just how admirable she is. Okay, so let's get into the analysis. So, if we were to summarize this moment in a very quick way, we would say that Dr. Sophie is approaching. She's coming over to join the photo. And right at that moment, Megan and Delphina grab each other's hands and walk away, completely ignoring Dr. Sophie. There's no acknowledgement. There's no wait for a potential group shot. I don't know if that would happen. There's no polite gesture, just a subtle but undeniable dismissal. Now, let me be clear. This might look small to some people, but to anyone who's ever been excluded, iced out, or strategically sidelined by a narcissist or a mean girl, you know this moment is textbook. And here's a part that really matters. Delphina doesn't hesitate. She doesn't look confused or unsure. She joins in immediately, like she already knows what this move means. This isn't just a coincidence. This is coordinated exclusion, the kind of thing you do when you've already had a conversation behind the scenes. Because for Delphina to grab Megan's hand or let her elbow out so Megan can grab her elbow, and to walk away like that, that tells you a couple of things. Megan has already shared her issue with Delphina regarding Dr. Sophie. Delphina has chosen to align herself with Megan in that conflict. And together, they're sending a very clear message to Dr. Sophie. You're not one of us. You're not welcome here. Step back. This is flying monkey in action. The term flying monkey comes from The Wizard of Oz, and in narcissistic recovery, it refers to someone who does the narcissist bidding, often unknowingly. They're used to isolate the target, reinforce the narcissist version of events, intimidate, guilt, or punish someone the narcissist has turned on, and maintain the narcissist's social image or power without getting their hands dirty, meaning the narcissist doesn't get their hands dirty. There are a couple of different types of flying monkeys. The first is the loyal enabler. They think they're helping someone who's misunderstood. They may be trauma bonded or emotionally manipulated, and they don't question the narcissist version of events. The second type is the willing participant. This person enjoys the drama or the control dynamic. They actively help to sabotage or isolate the target. They get something out of the narcissist's approval. And a third kind is the social climber. They align with the narcissist for status, access, or proximity to power. They will push others out of the way to stay in the narcissist's inner circle. These are just three examples. There are also flying monkeys that are motivated by different things. And let's talk about which one Delphina is. Based on what we see in that polo clip, the hand holding, the synchronized walking off, the complete disregard for Dr. Sophie, Delphina fits the willing participant and social climber categories. She clearly knows about the rift. She joins in the exclusion without hesitation. She sends a public performative signal of loyalty to Megan, and she doesn't even try to mask it. It's bold, it's confident, and it's strategically humiliating for Dr. Sophie. This is what narcissists do. They recruit flying monkeys to do their dirty work. Delphina's not just supporting Megan here, she's enforcing the social punishment. This is what social manipulation looks like, especially in narcissistic dynamics. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's subtle and strategically humiliating. And the emotional impact of this kind of behavior, it cuts deep. It's the kind of moment designed to make someone question their worth, feel like they've done something wrong, be silently punished in public, and worst of all, to feel utterly alone in front of a crowd. It's belittling, it's isolating, and it's 100% intentional. I remember being treated like this in middle school when the girl who didn't like you would silently signal to her friend and walk away just as you approached. It's designed to make you feel invisible, small, othered, that you don't belong. And that's exactly what this looks like. As I'm recording this video, a thought or a memory came to me about how Megan described her own childhood in school. I'm going to read now from Tom Bauer's Revenge. Years later, on her 33rd birthday in 2014, Megan's memories of her childhood shifted. Begin quote from Megan. My teens were grappling with how to fit in and what that even meant. My high school had cliques, the black girls and the white girls, the Filipina and the Latina girls. Being biracial, I fell somewhere in between. So every day during lunch, I busied myself with meetings, French club, student body, whatever one could possibly do between noon and 1 p.m. I was there. Not so that I was more involved but so that I wouldn't have to eat alone. Thomas Markle disputed Megan's later version of her school years. And the passage ends there. So surprising to have that kind of recollection, which I don't think it's true, but clearly she knows what bullying behavior looks like because she described it that way. And now she's doing it decades later. We've heard so many allegations of Megan's bullying behavior. A lot of times, these have been behind the scenes and we haven't seen them. As far as I can remember from all the footage I've seen, and I may be wrong, this video is the only one or the clearest one that I've seen of Megan bullying someone else. This bullying moment is a masterclass in covert social aggression, and the hand holding, synchronized walk off, and non acknowledgement are all carefully layered signals meant to humiliate and to hurt without saying a word. There are three things I can point to that make this moment intentionally cruel. The first is the tight hand holding. This is alliance signaling, it's not casual. Megan grabs Delfina's hand firmly, and Delfina reciprocates. It's a physical message that says, we are bonded, we are united, and we're excluding you. In narcissistic dynamics, this is called pairing off, creating a dominant duo to isolate a third. The second thing that makes this so intentionally cruel is the walk off. It's rejection without confrontation. They leave the photo area just as Dr. Sophie approaches. This isn't just walking away, it's timed. It tells Dr. Sophie, you don't belong in this moment. That is not your space. And because it's nonverbal, it leaves no evidence, but the message is crystal clear. And the third moment that makes this intentionally cruel is the no eye contact, no acknowledgement, which equals socially erasing the other person. Neither Megan nor Delphina even glance at Dr. Sophie. This is classic relational bullying. It's not yelling, not name calling, but freezing someone out. So, why does this feel so familiar to survivors? This kind of bullying hits people hard because it taps into old wounds from school, family, or toxic friend groups. And it's the pain of being othered, made invisible, and shut out in front of others. There's a gaslighty type of nature to it, where others might say, maybe you imagined it, even though your body knows exactly what happens. Sometimes the most vicious blows are delivered through a glance, a gesture, or a very calculated silence. Dr. Sophie's reaction or lack thereof speaks volumes. When Megan and Delphina walk off hand in hand, clearly excluding Dr. Sophie, she doesn't flinch. There's no visible reaction, no look of confusion, no protest, just calm, composed forward movement. That may seem small, but it's incredibly revealing. I'm going to give you 4 points regarding this moment. The first one, she's seen this behavior before. Dr. Sophie's lack of reaction suggests that this isn't the first time she's encountered subtle exclusion or social maneuvering. People who've navigated high stakes performative environments or narcissistic dynamics often develop the ability to emotionally detach from these micro attacks. Her calm says, this isn't new to me. The second is she refuses to give them the satisfaction. Narcissists and bullies feed off of reactions. The goal of a power play like this is to provoke, to create visible discomfort, to make the target shrink. But Dr. Sophie gives them nothing. No shift in energy, no visible hurt, no power returned. That's not passivity, that's emotional strategy. Third, Her restraint is a threat to narcissistic dynamics. To someone who thrives on attention, admiration, and control, a person who sees through the manipulation but stays poised is deeply unsettling. Megan's behavior later in the trophy moment, where she physically maneuvers Dr. Sophie, may actually be a response to this earlier moment. When the silent power move doesn't land, narcissists escalate. And the fourth is but. This could be a freeze or fawn response. I wanted to mention this because I've been in situations like this and I can tell you I gave the fawn response. I did a video about the most recent experience I had where I went into the fawn response. I'm going to link that in the comments if you're interested in watching that. I'm going to link that in the description if this topic interests you. But let's get into what this response could look like. So, that calm, composed exterior could be a trauma response. For many survivors, not reacting isn't strength, it's survival. In the freeze response, people emotionally shut down in a moment of conflict. In the fawn response, staying neutral or agreeable to avoid triggering more harm. Both are deeply conditioned responses in people who have been repeatedly exposed to covert bullying, emotional abuse, or narcissistic control. So while it may look like grace under pressure, it could also be someone who's learned to keep it all in because they've been through this so many times before. When someone doesn't react, it doesn't mean they're unaffected. It means they may have gone silent for survival. And when they don't flinch in the face of cruelty, it's not because they didn't notice, it's because they've already risen above it. That's the calm narcissists fear the most, the quiet clarity of someone who sees through the game and refuses to play. If you've ever experienced this kind of invisible cruelty, you are not alone. This video might be happening in high society designer outfit setting, but the behavior is the same as the middle school lunch table. Drop a comment if you saw what I saw. Have you ever been treated this way or seen someone else be iced out like this? Let's talk about it. Please share your experiences in the comments if you feel comfortable. If this video was interesting to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know every time I drop a new video. Thank you so much for being here, but before we close, I want to make a few quick announcements. For my YouTube members, I haven't forgotten you. I haven't been able to do regular live streams the last few weeks because I've had a lot going on personally. Nothing bad, just real life stuff. Starting this month, I'll be doing monthly members only live streams right here on YouTube. If you've been loving these deep dives and want more, I've been uploading exclusive companion content over on my Patreon, including downloadable guides, bonus commentary, and even full pep talks to go with the videos here. I create these downloadable guides for a very specific reason, because sometimes watching a video is validating, but it's not always enough. After the screen goes dark, you're still left sitting with the feelings, the patterns, the question, and that's where these guides come in. They give you something tangible, a place to write, to reflect, to recognize what just happened or what's been happening for years. A lot of people in these situations are used to being gaslit, not just by the narcissist, but by everyone else too. These guides are a quiet way of saying, no, you're not crazy, you're not too sensitive, you're just finally seeing it clearly. So if you're someone who learns by writing or who just needs something to hold on to when your mind is spinning, these guides were made for you. They're not just extras, they're tools, and I hope they help you come back to yourself one page at a time. I want to thank you all so much for the support. You don't know how much all of you and this community means to me. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.